Some massive transfer news. Dominic Szoboszlai is going to be joining Liverpool for £60 million. And I'm very, very worried. I think Jurgen Klopp is cooking up a major storm next season. In this video, I'll talk about Dominic Szoboszlai, the transfer itself, and of course, what it means for Liverpool next season. If you're new to the channel, make sure you subscribe. Would really appreciate it. If I was a Liverpool fan right now, I'd be absolutely over the moon. I think the kind of business that Liverpool are doing, it's smart, it's snug, it's strategic. McAllister coming from Brighton, a proven top-level Premier League midfielder with a high ceiling. He's a winner, of course, as well. And then you get Dominic Szoboszlai for £60 million. Look at someone like Declan Rice going for 105, £110 million. That kind of range. You know, Dominic Szoboszlai for 60 is absolutely unreal business. This guy's a Champions League level footballer with a massive ceiling. His ceiling's so high. 22 years old. Last season, he got 6 goals, 8 assists in the Bundesliga. 2-footed, can drive through midfield. He can score from almost anywhere on the pitch. And obviously find other players as well. And I think Liverpool have to be a little bit smarter. Obviously, they don't have the kind of Man City, Chelsea, Man United money quite. They're a little bit below that. So they have to be strategic. And you look at some of the players that Klopp's brought in on that kind of smarter, kind of strategic vibe. I'm thinking Fabinho in midfield, James Milner, these two in midfield in particular. Obviously, Thiago at points was fantastic. Salah from Roma, kind of a top player, but an outside top player, and without the hype. And you think Szoboszlai, from my understanding of thinking about the football world and kind of people talking about him, obviously I know Newcastle were linked and a few other clubs, but he was never kind of linked to Man City, Real Madrid, Barcelona. I think that sometimes helps Liverpool find these kind of gems. And they have to go after those kind of players because of Jude Bellingham. They wanted Jude Bellingham. Bang, he goes to Real Madrid, the kind of Galactico level players. Liverpool cannot compete and they cannot sign a Declan Rice for 45, 50 million pounds. They aren't in the, they can't sign those kind of bracket players. They're relying on a Dominic Szoboszlai for 60 million pounds. The age category, he's malleable. He's going to be able to be shaped by Jurgen Klopp. And then there are times in that by the Jurgen Klopp factor and hoping that Jurgen Klopp can get a tune out of him, which I think more than certainly he will be able to. Obviously, someone that knows the Bundesliga inside out. I know Naby Keita obviously came from the Bundesliga, didn't quite work out, was basically what I'd call a flop. But again, I'll go back to some of the signs that Jurgen Klopp has made. He's had one of the best transfer records of any manager in European football for years now. Even Van Dijk, Alisson, I know they're a little bit more expensive, but so many have come good. And the big thing for Liverpool is, whatever you think about Dominic Szoboszlai, how he'll fit in, I'll talk about that in a minute. The actual composition of the squad for Liverpool next season is really important. Obviously, McAllister comes in. He's the kind of guy that you feel will be available 99% of the time. So will Dominic Szoboszlai, by the way. His record in terms of just being fit, being available is massive for Liverpool. And they missed out with Naby Keita. They had someone in the squad that was a midfielder, a pricey one for £40 million. He was never fit. So they always had like a kind of a handicap against them because of that. Oxlade-Chamberlain, similarly as well. Carvalho last season as well, even though he was fit, wasn't good enough. And he's actually been loaned to Leipzig in this deal, potentially. And Carvalho was a player that was maybe, again, another kind of marginal player that's come in from the Championship, did absolutely amazingly at Fulham. And it didn't quite work out. And Liverpool need those players to work out straight away if they're going to gamble on someone that isn't already a proven player. You can't wait around, can you, really, for Carvalho to come good? And they've gone and improved on him with Dominic Szoboszlai, there's no question about it. Liverpool last season, I saw glimpses of the side that nearly won the quadruple, that won the league. They got 97 points and came second. The standards of Liverpool have been absolutely immense, and they fell off last season, I think justifiably so, based on the thinness of their squad, the fact that they lost the Premier League in the last day of the season, they lost the Champions League in the final game against Real Madrid. I think Jurgen Klopp's cooking up a big storm. The composition of the Liverpool squad is important as he kind of creates Jurgen Klopp 2.0. We talk about Jurgen Klopp after 7 years kind of struggling, and he has to find a way within himself to change Liverpool from now to the next 7 years, if he is to stay that long. And Dominic Szoboszlai at the age of 22 is certainly a player that kind of fits that bill. But the difference between him and the kind of gamble from Fulham for Carvalho is that he's a bit more of an established player, played at European level and at a much higher level. And some of the goals this guy's got to score in his locker and the quality on the ball is absolutely fantastic. He's such a silky player, Szoboszlai. He's unbelievable. And he seems big to me. He seems like a big lad. He's not like a small little playmaker. I think Carvalho is a little bit too small for the role. But going back to the composition of the squad, you feel that Harvey Elliott, not sure about him. I'm not sure about him. Whether it was unlucky with injuries, who knows? Then you're thinking of Curtis Jones. I know he had a fantastic back end of the season. It was unreal against, I think it was Leicester City. He had that unbelievable game against Leicester City. And Carragher was talking about him maybe coming good next season. That's not happening. So Liverpool have definitely got space in that midfield. James Milner's left. You think about Oxlade-Chamberlain being a massive flop that no one likes to talk about. I certainly do, but Liverpool fans won't talk about it. If Dominic Szoboszlai comes in, Fabinho's fit, McAllister's fit, you've got Jordan Henderson kicking about for experience. Maybe Curtis Jones and Harvey Elliott kind of are the backup to that and see if they can progress. And then suddenly you've got a midfield that works hard, has got a little bit of creativity. Don't forget, Coutinho had a real... I know it was kind of a crossover between Klopp and coming in and Coutinho leaving, but there was a crossover where Coutinho was fantastic. So there is an ability in this Liverpool midfield for a bit of creativity. It doesn't all have to come from the front three. And that front three will be serviced by Szoboszlai. For the money they're spending, he will be starting for Liverpool. You think of Núñez, a lot of the chances he created were a lot of physicality, a lot of kind of getting the ball himself and running people, being aggressive. You think Szoboszlai would be able to unlock him if he used to play down the middle. Same with Cody Gakpo. Same with Diaz. Someone that obviously was injured last season. I think is absolutely fantastic. I think he's a borderline world-class player in the next couple of years. I really do. And then Salah as well. He had a fantastic season last season. So these guys are going to be supported even more so by the creativity of Szoboszlai. And then the energy as well. He works hard off the ball. So does McAllister. So does Henderson. So does, of course, Fabinho. Liverpool fans, you have to let me know if it's enough. They might need a little bit more. Obviously, there's a few players that have left Liverpool this summer already. And obviously, Arthur didn't work, for example, as well. So another midfielder that didn't quite work. They might need another one in there, especially the Europa League campaign being long, arduous, boring, some would say. I have to just say this to wrap up. Liverpool will be a force next season if they get everything right, if they balance their Europa League campaign. We saw Arsenal lead the Premier League for 247 days while being in the Europa League. They threw it against Lisbon, they were poor. But it shows you can still try and have a go at winning the Premier League with a Europa League campaign, as depressing as it is to be in one of those. Alisson, Van Dijk, Trent tucked in, maybe with more protection if they sign another defender. Levi Colwill is linked. Andy Robertson getting back to full fitness, maybe more of a rest this summer than he did in previous summers, coming off the quadruple, for example. You got that midfield, McAllister against Szoboszlai, and then the front three who will kick on next summer. This next season, I absolutely believe it. I think that front three, Núñez can only get better. Can't get any worse than he was. Diaz as well, and they're all of the right age category. 22 years old, Szoboszlai. Núñez is young. Gakpo is young. Diaz is young. Salah's the kind of mature one who has the quality still to score unbelievable amount of goals. It's looking tasty for Liverpool. And whatever you say about Liverpool, if they can or cannot win the Premier League, they're going about their business in some of the smartest ways possible to the confines of what FSG allow them to do. I think £60 million for the talent that I've seen in this kid is absolutely fantastic. If you're new to the channel, make sure you subscribe. I would really appreciate it. I'll see you soon.